I think that's what it is. I think everyone's looking at efficiencies right now. You
Well,
know,
I've been working from home probably for 3 months, right? And I filled up my tank March 15th and haven't put gas in it since. I get incredible gas mileage now. Yeah, and you ponder like, would I have a second car if I worked at home? Would we really even need it? And I think a lot of the consumers are going to be, they've been working at home, what have you. They've learned to get by without this or without that. And whether they come around again and say they want to take on that extra debt or they want to, revisit that, I think that'll change too. Certainly, the way we spend money and the way we look at it as consumers is greatly going to change, as well as their work. They'll discover, geez, I've been home and I hated that commute, and I feel better. I take walks in the morning or whatever it is, and it wouldn't surprise me if a number of people who found that they're working at home, what have you, decide they want a job that they can, even when they're able to go back. It's going to be a different story for a
I'm
lot of people.
I'm with you on that. I mean, I'm talking to a handful of salespeople right now that are trying to work with their dealerships to kind of come up with a hybrid of do they really need to be in the dealership right now? I have one gentleman that's been working in the dealership for the last 23 years at a Lexus dealership. He's been selling through this entire time frame, but that's because he's been at the dealership for 23 years. All right.
Right.
It's, whenever his customers had a question or a concern, they never dialed the dealership phone number. They always dialed his phone number, so but he's been able to go into the dealership once a week or once every other week just to, deal with some of the paperwork and be face to face with them. But, he's like, look, I'm very, very efficient from home right now. In fact, actually, he's like, I'm getting more done right now than I have in the past because I'm at home. The pager's not going off. I don't have 15 other salespeople looking for this or asking about that. It's like it's just very laser targeted right now. So I wonder, and I'd love to get your thoughts on this. Does this change the way a sales floor looks? Does this change? Can this potentially change the way our showroom operations looks? What are your thoughts on that, Todd?
My personal feeling is I hope it does. I hope the hours change that we're open. A lot of guys work Sundays, not here in Nova Scotia, but I mean, certainly when I was selling cars, we were open Sundays. And it's hard if you're a family guy, you have kids, you have a 7 day a week job, you're working till 9 at night. Quite often, it's a ghost town at 7, right? Whatever it might be, we'll get on the phone then, right? All that kind of stuff starts to roll in. But if there was some sort of a setup where they could possibly, be available from home after 6 or whatever it might be, whatever kind of a shift. I think one of the challenges we find certainly in the sales thing is not a lot of people want those kind of hours if they can avoid it. It's hard on hard on a family guy. Like if you're single and you're loving it, it's a whole different ballgame. But when you have kids and dinners and you're trying to run around and get people to their hockey games and all that, those long hours of non-productive work, like, you can say, the sales rep should be making calls, doing this, doing that. But, nowadays with, the help of technology, digital, they can do a lot of that. They don't have to be sitting there. And maybe in a perfect world, or these past 2 or 3 months, a lot of the management across the country will say, they were actually working from home. I don't have to be fearful that they will go home and they won't do anything. I won't be paying them. I need to see them sit there. They need to be polishing that seat all day, right? Maybe it'll be, the world didn't end. They worked at home and possibly more productive on some aspects.